Good evening. Why is it doing that?
He had it a little high back there, it's okay.
Oh, okay, sorry about that. Welcome to the February 24th West Milton Council Workshop. Can we start with the call to order? Wait, or is this the call to order?
Roll call.
Roll call. I'm new here.
Mr. Fogel?
Here.
Mr. Todd?
Here.
Mr. Hurst?
Present.
Ms. Metz? Ms. Richardson?
Here.
Ms. Gregory?
Here.
Go ahead and call him.
Mayor Sodders?
Here.
I'll let you, do you want to just get that for a second?
Sure.
Okay. The first item on the agenda is the Planning Board Board of Adjustments pay. The second reading is going to be in March. Mr. Sheridan?
Same information that you had for the first reading, nothing's changed. Be happy to answer any questions if you have them.
No questions?
I just have one clarification. I believe this is how this works because it's the same thing with council. The people that are appointed, do they start getting that money right away or do they have to wait till the next?
It's different than council.
It is different?
This goes into
I believe
effect.
it's different than council, yes. I will verify that, but I'm pretty sure it's different than
Yeah,
council.
typically, if you don't control it, you get it immediately
Yes.
Okay,
because the council makes the
Council is setting it, so.
okay. Just trying to verify,
Good
validate.
question.
And then the next item on the agenda, the rezoning 957 South Miami Street.
As you may recall, that's a residential structure that has been zoned commercial for quite some time, and the homeowner has requested it. We met with the planning board. They recommended the rezoning. The final step will be the second reading for the council in March.
Does anybody have any questions? Mayor Sodders, are you ready?
No. You want me to take back over? All right.
The next item is the school area traffic plan.
That would be Mr. Herron.
Yes, so as you know, we put together a pretty nice plan to improve not only traffic but pedestrian safety. So once I got to really looking at it, I realized I'm going to need, for one, I'm going to need construction drawings for the project to bid this. Two, it would be much better to have those drawings and be ready to go to get the utility relocations. There's going to be like 3 poles. The hydrant that's out there, we're within 500 feet or 200 feet, I think, of the other hydrant. So the hydrant's just going to go away. It's really not needed out there. And then a street light move. So long story short, we spoke to Choice One at our capital improvements meeting, and it would be best for us just to go ahead and partner with them on this project for the construction drawings and to assist with the utility relocations. So, and I think they gave us a pretty good price to assist us with that at not to exceed $35,000. And of course, I'll work with them and help them with anything they need to maybe save us a little bit of money here and there if they need measurements or to do some grading or take some grades and that kind of thing. So this is the first step in getting that project moving. Then once this is signed, then they can start on the drawings. And as soon as those drawings are dry, we'll start working on getting the utility relocations scheduled. That isn't a major project, but it is hard to get done through the current AES system right now. It's just hard to deal with them at times. And I'm sure it's because they're super busy. I'm not saying that they're not, but it's just that takes some time. Any questions?
Is this like with the Haskell Road?
Haskett.
Haskett, sorry.
Haskett. It's the same road.
Haskett.
Yes.
Connector Road, that project that you kind of talked about in the past and.
Yes.
Will we do the work in-house?
So utility crews will relocate that, and then we'll bid out the street construction work. And then once that's done, I just wanted to get this underway, and then I plan on going to the township and just saying, hey, not this year, but next year, would you guys like to partner to repave all of that? That way it's all done at one time. the widening section. I mean, you guys have seen widening projects before where they come in and they just do that section. It always becomes a little bit off. It's always can be a hazard. So the plan would be to get with the township and see if they wanted to do this with us. I have talked to them before, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be fine partnering on that.
Do you have a question, couple questions? Time for completion of this construction drawings, how long does that usually take with choice one for
As
this?
soon as we authorize this, then I will get everything nailed down timeline-wise, and then I will get you guys that information right away.
And can you send us what you preliminarily have?
Yeah.
Because I don't remember seeing
Yep.
what the plan is for that traffic plan for.
Can do.
So it's the Haskett connector into Milton Potsdam, is that correct?
Yeah, so it would involve Hamilton Street would be more of a council safety director decision, because that would include one way, or I mean, not one way, but no parking on one side. The Haskett connector would be a 3-people project with us, the township, and the county to possibly make the connector one way to the west to get away from trying to have them come out onto Haskett.
Okay, so it's that.
And
okay.
then the third would be basically just us taking care of that.
Okay. So what are you thinking with the Haskett connector? Are you thinking, and I know we talked about it a bit, would it be one way going west or one way
West.
going west? Okay.
Mainly because that building's always going to be there, and that house is out of the city limits anyway, and they don't really have any desire to work with us on something like taking that building out. So to just make it safer all the way around, that's going to be wider through there. They go ahead and just make it one way to the west, if council agrees with that, once you see the presentation.
Okay. Sounds great. Thank you. Appreciate the explanation.
All right, next we have the wastewater treatment plant AC replacement and VFD pump replacements.
Also,
Is that
Mr. here.
Mr. Ben?
2-part project here. One, the air conditioning for the main office facility, which houses our wastewater and water offices down there. The original air conditioner, last year they said we can fix this, but I would budget for a new one like next year, because we're basically making it work, get us through the summer, and that's about it. So we got prices on a split unit through REAP, our contractor. So that would be part one to this, which is CM 26-10. Any questions on the air conditioning? Second would be the VFD pumps. If you recall, Christmas Eve or whatever it was, we had a pump go out at the wastewater plant. It's the VFD pump. That particular pit is what takes all of the plant flow from the bottom and pumps it up to the top. And to do that, there's 2 VFD type pumps that pump that water, and they take turns running. And in that same pit is a third pump, and if one of those first 2 go out, then the third pump can be engaged. So we had one go out right during the holidays, switched over to the backup pump. It ran for a little while and then it quit. So that left us calling around when everybody was out of their office trying to find a pump. And I remember Councilmember Vogel at the time, I think one of your comments was, let's see what we can do to make sure this doesn't happen again. And we totally agree with that. So we've had time to take all the pumps, what came out, what's in the pit. There's only one pump out of the ones that came out that would be qualified for a rebuild. And even then, we won't know till they get into it if it can be rebuilt or not. So our plan was, we got some pricing from around to find this particular 20 horsepower VFD pump. So what the best case scenario is right now there's 2 pumps running in the pit, and then the oldest, of course it doesn't make sense, it would be better to have this one running, but that's just not how they got put in. But the third one is one that's been rebuilt before. So it's a guarantee it'll come on and run, but not for, we don't know for how long. So in the best case scenario, we go ahead and purchase one more new pump and then just hope that they can rebuild the rebuildable second pump. That way we'll have 3 in the pit and 2 on the ground. Because these aren't pumps that you can work around. If these pumps aren't running, then the whole plant is down. So if council's in agreement with that, as their wish is to make sure this doesn't happen again, this would be our best case scenario.
Okay, 2 questions. The new one, what will be the cost of?
So the new pump will be $26,350, and that's a Modi. So the other thing we did was we sat down, Ken and Corey, and we said, what pumps in here are working best and what pumps are not? So like if this one's 25 years old versus this one's 15, and the flight pumps that were in there are the more expensive pumps, but the pumps we've had the most problems with. And ironically, the flight pumps you can only get parts for like almost overseas. Flight pumps are never, their parts are never in stock. They're always special order, and then we gotta wait weeks just to get a part. Where the Modis are done through one of our vendors that we use often, and the parts are usually sitting somewhere close by or available within 24 hours. So the Modis are cheaper, but they're also more reliable and easier to get parts.
And the rebuild would be approximately?
I don't know yet. It depends on what all they have to put in it. Say up to, I want to say probably no more than 10 if they have to rebuild the entire pump. Would
Okay.
be my guess.
Great. And the AC replacement, what was the cost of that? I
It
forgot to
is
ask you that.
15 something.
15,175.
15,175. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Hey, no problem.
You wouldn't want to just open windows down there?
Huh?
When it gets hot in that building, you wouldn't just want to open windows?
Yeah,
down
no,
there,
just
right?
open the windows. I mean, I don't even think you need screens.
That's right, yeah.
You've been down there, you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Breeze off the river.
Oh, yeah.
It's nice down there.
All right, next we have Rock the Hill. I think.
I believe we have a letter that's in your packet from Sarah Kopp, the president of Project Revival. I thought she might be here, but apparently not. The letter states what their request is for this year.
This is the same letter we read last week, right?
I believe it is.
So the amount is 10,000, is that correct?
Yeah, their request is 10,000.
Okay, so we have
20 in a budget.
20 in the budget, but we also got a request from the 4th of July.
That's next.
Yep, for 15, correct?
Yeah.
So that means if we approve both, we're gonna have to increase our budget by $5,000. A smidge, right?
Mr. Fogel.
Hello. So actually, I looked at the budget today. Those come out of different line items, expense lines.
Ah.
So there is enough to cover both the donations without increasing the budget any. So the fireworks come out of, there's like a 101, 202 account. And then this donation comes out of community events or whatever. Let me look it up. Community development programs. And that's in the 101, 130 expense account. So there is enough for both in there.
Okay. So we have 20K budgeted for the fireworks. And 15K is asked, and we have 10K for Rock the Hill, and we have that.
There's 15 in that expense line. However, we do use some of that for like the downtown flowers and things like that when they do things like that. So
Okay.
I'd like to keep at least some of that in there, but there's 15 in there.
But
to
there's
cover
no
the 10.
other community events that we have given money to, provided money to in the past. It's always just been the fireworks.
Correct.
And nothing with any of the other, the
Not
car
that
show, none
I
of
went
that
back
stuff.
3 years, so we do pay for like the Porter Johns, things like that, but that comes out of a different account as well.
Okay,
So,
okay. Thank you.
yep.
I have one more question, Jill. When you mentioned things like flowers and stuff downtown, do you know what that cost typically averages?
So last year it was around close to 1,000.
Oh, okay.
So it just depends on the pricing of the flowers, the arrangements that they do, things like that. But I did look for last year. I can look back further if you want more of an average, but
We have 15 in that account? Okay.
Is there anything else that would come out of that aside from flowers?
no, not that I've seen, not in the last 3 years.
Okay.
Let me put it that way. I can dig further if you would like me to, but typically if something hasn't occurred in 3 years'
Yeah.
time, then it's not usually a revolving expenditure that comes out of that account.
Yeah.
So.
Anything else on Rock the Hill? So moving on to fourth fireworks
Do we
letter.
need to decide if we're
Oh.
approving that or doing
Yeah.
that?
So
You're
we
not
can have
worried.
re- Would we do a
There'd have to be a resolution
resolution?
ready for
And then
that.
we would read it at the council workshop, or the council meeting
Yes.
next month?
Does that sound okay? How much are we doing for each?
Their request is 10,000.
Okay.
So I'd say we could meet their request out of that separate item line.
Yeah, I think it would make sense to be able to meet their request and still have enough left in the budget, so I
Yep.
think that would make sense.
I would be supportive of that for a resolution in March if others are on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just for Rock the Hill, right?
That is
For
correct.
Rock the Hill.
Okay.
Yep.
So now we'll move on to fourth.
Move on to fourth.
Fourth fireworks letter. Do you want to read the letter or just have her
I
read
believe
it?
Joy is
Hey, Joy,
here.
if you want to come up and give your pitch.
My case.
Exactly.
Fireworks did go up from 22 to 25 this year, and that's if you can stay at the same display that we've had, always had. Which I don't think I want to go backwards, unless you guys feel we need to. But I think with the centennial, I would like to go, even bigger. But at this point, for 25, I'd be happy just to stay where we're at. Unfortunately, with the quarter auction, we didn't bring in as much money as we anticipated because of the snow and the weather. We brought in about half what we have in the past for the quarter auction. We're not getting the donation from the hospital this year, the grant from the hospital. So we would be grateful, very grateful for 15 if we could.
So what do you currently have that is going towards this year that you already have money set aside?
Yes.
What do you have? How much money do you already have set aside?
We have enough to cover the whole 25, but in order to keep going and keep the account, we want to stay in the positive.
Okay.
I can talk on this one. I do want to say, I appreciate so much what you guys do. When the quarter auction there was a lot of snow on the ground, so it was really rough. And I don't know if you've ever been to the quarter auction, but it's super fun. But it was very low attended because there was snow on the ground. And it was I think it was still snowing that night, right?
Yeah.
It was not nice outside. And it is the 250th birthday of America, so these events are really important as a community and as a country. So that's my 2 cents.
So just to clarify again, so with the 15K, if we decide that that's what we're going to provide, you have enough to meet what you need for the 25K, and then you'll have a little bit left over for next year.
Yes.
So if my thought is we have 20K in the budget for this year, why not go ahead and bump it up to 20K? That way they have a little bit of a buffer for next year, since things did not go as well with the quarter auction. At least maybe then next year they don't have to ask for as much from us, or if there's other entities that come in. If we have 20K budgeted, why not go ahead and provide that? Would be my thought.
I support
We
that.
do.
250, go big, go home.
We want to
America
add.
250. We're an America 250 community. It's a big
Exactly.
deal. This is never going to happen again.
Which we're meeting tomorrow night to discuss what all we want to do on the 4th. We want to do something else, but as to what, we're not sure.
Okay, and I'm going to help you with a plug here. So how many do you have in your committee again that are working this effort? Because I know it's a pretty slim crew.
3.
3? So if there's anyone out there that's interested in helping out with the 4th of July committee and the celebration, it's 4 days with the rides this year, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Right.
Please contact Joy Beatley. They do it all. They do the parade, they do the 4th of July fireworks, contract with the carnival, all that type of stuff. So they could use some help. So if there's anybody new to the community or knows anybody that would like to help out, either reach out to someone here in the village, they'll put you in touch with Joy, or reach out directly to Joy, because I'm sorry, 3 people's not enough. It's a lot of work. It's crazy.
Right.
I nominate Fogel for, no.
Yeah.
Well, I just
What
wanted
a better
to
way to
ask-
spend your birthday, Scott.
I know, right? I got a question. If someone wanted to donate, what would be the best way to make that donation?
If they want to give it to the city, make a check out to WM Community Celebrations, probably best bet. Because if you do any of the electronic type things, there's always, fees involved in that.
All right.
We can keep it secure until you pick it up.
Right.
Sure.
Give it to Megan or Megan.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you have a treasurer, or you're the treasurer?
Jamie Baxter's our treasurer.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Joy, you do an amazing job.
Thank you.
It's a whole production. And as we're developing the Main Street program, I think that's going to take the ease of the volunteers. I mean, we're still going to have a huge need for volunteers, but I think that's going to ease some of the burden.
I think the important thing to remember here is that when she took over as the chair of this, they didn't have any money. So for them to have enough to cover this year speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Thank you. We beg hard for money.
I know last year the Milton Union Alliance did the 5K on 4th of July morning, right?
I
Yes.
think they're doing it again.
So I don't know, I know they're fundraising for their own thing. I just didn't know if it's advertising or whatever, if you all kind of work together in any way that their event kind of falls in line with the events that you post, the fishing derby and the parade and all that stuff. I don't know, or if there would be like a barefoot canoe thing that wanted to get in on it or something and host like a cheaper or I don't know, a deal for the holiday or something that could be part. I don't know, just a thought. But yeah, you guys do awesome. I appreciate all the hard work because that is a lot. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
So yes, we're looking for more volunteers, even just to help the day of for it.
So if we're all in agreement, we could get a resolution
Yeah.
prepared for the amount of 20K.
Yep.
Okay.
For the next meeting. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Next, we have the new leaf machine. I guess that's probably been.
Mr. Herron again.
Yeah. So, when I ask council to do something and not do a sealed bid, or that it's not on a state bid, I feel like I just owe them an explanation as to why we're not doing that. And thank goodness for Lene double checking when I do resolutions to catch all my errors. But just briefly, so when I started here a few years ago, the leaf machine was crap. It did not pick up dry leaves. You had to pretty much try to force them into the machine. So after years of that, when we got our machine in 2000, we invited everybody. Everybody that made a machine came. And so by that time, people were mulching their leaves, and when leaves get wet and soaked. And so that was where we were having problems with the old machine. We spent more time unclogging it than using it. So we made a pile of the worst sludge, leaf, grass pile you've ever seen in your life. And 3 machines came to demo, and we said, all we want you to do is go over there and use your machine and pick up that pile. The first guy got in his truck and left with the machine. The second guy tried and couldn't get any of it up in his hose. The third one sucked it right up. It's like, there's the machine. And that machine we got in 2000, if it wasn't that it was worn out and structurally, and that the motor's got so much time on it, it would be a piece that we could keep longer. But to replace that machine through the same company, makes the same machine, it's got a little bit bigger motor, and the feature that we really like is that it has a remote option. So if it's super cold, or whoever's the operator sitting in the seat, they can actually get off of the machine and use a box to control the hose. So that way they're not stuck on the machine when it's like 10 degrees out and freezing. They can get out and walk and pick up leaves. I did investigate one other option, and that would be, it's a self-enclosed truck that basically one operator sits in the truck and utilizes the joystick, and the hose sticks out over the truck, and they pick up leaves that way. I went over and I followed Troy's for a while. It does a good job, but it doesn't pick up like our Leaf Master picks up, and it's it would be probably 230,000 by the time it got here. The guys are like, that's just silly. For something that we only use for like a month and a half, it's just not worth it. And with this better machine and less leaves, we feel extremely comfortable replacing that with another 25 gear machine. So that is why I asked not to bid, because it's made by 2 guys in the shop, and they're giving us a good trade-in on ours, and so this would definitely be our recommendation.
It's a good story.
Any questions, or?
We trust your expertise on that one, Ben.
I'm just thinking of the bid for 3,000. A bid for 3,000.
I think it's funny.
But
He said he's only been here.
we
a
had
short
this in the
time.
budget, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Thank you.
So we just need a resolution. We already have it. Oh, it's right here, yeah.
No problem.
All right, so
Number 10.
number 10, park mower replacement. Ben?
One more, and then I'll leave you guys alone. The zero turn in the park, we have it's a Hustler mower, as you can see, and this one actually is Sourcewell state bid, and we're getting a really good price on that. It's replacing a 2015. I don't have to tell you how hard the mowers in the park work. We've had to do some work to the 15 over the last couple of years, to where last year we were just hoping I always say for our purposes, because we use them really hard, because we have so much. Now, if a landscaper or something did like 10 yards a week and they put a little money into it, yeah, it would last longer. But for us, if it's not running and the grass is growing, we've got problems. So this particular mower, one, like I said, it is state bid, and 2, it's been the best mower we've had per Steve. And there is an option on that mower which involves the rear tires, and it's kind of an expensive option. However, and Steve did the research on this, not me, but I will tell you that it puts the rims and tires on the back that are rated for steep hills, which right now we don't have one that's rated for steep hills. And when he does the park down close to where the overlook is at, it's sketchy. So this is supposed to balance that out and make it so it's like an extra $1,500, but for him to be able to get up and down there safer, it's worth every penny. And that's included in the state bid price also.
Good.
Thank you.
Hey, was that a 38.5 inch?
A what?
Is it a 38.5 inch
Yeah.
cut, or?
So it's a 38.5.
All right, I was just checking to see if that's what that meant.
Yep.
All right. It seems small though for cutting the park.
Well, that's the model. It's like a 72-inch deck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more
Sorry,
sense.
yeah.
I was thinking, man, it might.
Yeah, I can see where that would be a problem. That's why we wear them out, because we only get 2 foot wide.
All right. Next, we have the State Route 48, Frederick Garland. That's
me.
Yep.
This is the project that was discussed previously, and this is the resolution that would be the next step in moving forward on the Frederick Garland State Route 48 improvement project to make that intersection safe. Any questions? If not, it'll be on the agenda for the next meeting.
So this would, what is the time frame on this?
Oh,
For the, from the next meeting to completion?
Based on, we only have one other emergency project going on, and that's the crosswalks. So I think the emergency projects with ODOT take a little longer. I would say you're probably looking at 2 to 3 years.
Are the crosswalks were gonna be done in like 2030 or 2031, right?
Yeah, 29, I think was the final date, but I think construction was actually slated for 28 on those.
Let's get an update from Choice One. They'll know for sure. They've done more emergency projects. We'll get an update and let you know.
Okay.
For the roundabout, this timeline,
Perfect.
like the construction engineering was into the fiscal year 2030.
Thank you. Thank you. There you go.
Thank you.
That's the answer.
Yeah, I don't have any more questions. Want to move forward with that one?
Yep. All right. Next is the public entities pool resolution. Jeff.
Yeah, this is a recommended piece of legislation from PEP. I believe, I don't know if they provided this comparison or if Ms. Grice did, but it's just a slight different than what you've done in the past. I think there was a change in state law. Lenny, did you have some comments, I thought?
There was a while ago. I think the main thing is we've never used this. After I
Okay.
talked with Jill,
Okay.
we've always done bonds.
Right,
And it's,
right,
you know,
right.
one or the other. You don't have to do both.
Right,
So when we got
yes.
this, Jill was confused. I was confused trying to look into it and figure out why we even needed it.
Okay.
So yeah, I had reached out to the insurance carrier to clarify, like, what is it? Please, like, dumb it down for me so I understand it. But right now we are bonded, but the proposal from the insurance company, from the information that I've been provided up to this point, it's on the right side of that sheet. I tried to do a comparison between the two. After going through the research and understanding what this is, it does make more sense to build it into our insurance policy than to have separate bonds. It's easier to track. It covers the position, not necessarily the person. So if something happens with the position, then it's covered. It's complying with ORC. I've checked with the auditor's office. Everything checks out there. And the insurance company is saying, they told me about a third of the people that are with the pool right now have already moved over to it, building it into their policies. The one thing I just wanted to have was the difference between the two and the cost difference. I can't get the cost difference until I send them the application to get the pricing. So I wanted to make sure everyone was okay with me doing that before I proceeded any further. Because if it's 3 times as much money, I don't know if it's worth doing that way. If it's a little bit more, then it makes sense to do it overall.
Submitting that to find out the cost, that won't commit us to anything, right?
No,
That first.
no.
Yeah, I'd like to see the numbers.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
I have a question for you, Joe. Does this, the faithful performance policy, do you feel like that's a better option than the bonds, or it's just?
For me, I think yes, because the way they make it sound is it's like a better coverage overall. And he said he sent me a little bit of information this afternoon, but he said he's still going to look at getting me some additional information, which I'll pass on to everyone. But yes, I think so, because then we're not having to, if someone leaves, then we have to make sure we contact the bond company and change the bond, because it's with that specific person, not the position. So there's things there that make it easier administratively wise to do. Make sense?
That sounds easier.
Yeah, it does. So if it's not a whole lot of much more money, I think I would prefer to go that route than the way we're currently doing it.
Thank you for looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to find out costs and then maybe move forward with changing that.
All right. Next is 2026 fence projects.
Mr. Aaron?
I thought I was done, sorry. I don't think I brought that one with me, but it's not really a big deal. So in the budget, we had a fence project for the South Water Tower and for the canoe area down in the park. We own that concession area. It's just right now being leased from us. And actually, it was Lieutenant Stevens that brought that up last year when he went down through the park. He's like, you know, we were asking people to maintain their properties, and we have a fence down there that looks hideous. And I'm like, you know what, you're right. So in the process of getting 3 quotes for that, as of right now, I'm almost positive that we'll be under budget on this project. I'm just waiting on one more price. Steve Stoss and I met with the 3 different companies at the South Tower and then at the park. So I know by the end of this week, I'll have all the pricing in for that. But one might be over 15, and then the one for the park will be well below 15. So.
Sounds good. Thank you, Ben.
All right, next, do we have any motions to go into regular
I
session?
got a question.
Oh, okay.
Because we are not going to be most likely coming back in here for a little bit. Should we go ahead and do the new business and old business first?
Sure.
And
Idea.
then go into the
All right.
executive session?
Do we have any new business? I see none. Any old business?
Yes, I have 2 things.
All right.
Sorry, 3 things. Vacant building ordinance, I know we got some updates in reference to that. I thought we were going to maybe have some additional discussion during our workshop in reference to that. I did get a lengthy text message from a resident with some concerns and some input and questions. At this point, I think it would be easier if I kind of synopsized all of that. He couldn't be here for the meeting today, but said I could share it with council. So I would like to synopsize some of his comments and send it to everybody via email so you can take a look at it. I didn't know if we had any other items that we needed to discuss. I know we talked about doing this as a like a gradual stepping type of ordinance, maybe a 6-month time frame to get things kind of going and in place and kind of take it gradually. I just don't know if we're at a point yet that this is something that can be ready for prime time and be read at the next council meeting, or if we have to have any more discussion in reference to that. I felt like from what Retail Strategies provided, it was good input. They were very comfortable with how things were written and drafted up, but didn't know what the thought of the rest of the council was in reference to that. I know we put a lot of work into it.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think it's in good shape. I agree. We did discuss doing a kind of delayed rollout. At one point, I think it was even discussed starting the beginning of 27. And maybe that just depends on how long it takes us to get this enacted. But yeah, the idea is kind of make it very clear to everybody, you know, you have this amount of time to get things in order, so no one's getting it just dropped on their head. But other than that, yeah, I think we're in a good spot with it, unless anybody has anything else they specifically want to address.
The questions that she asked in your email, is that what you were gonna say, or no? That Jen responded?
Yeah, she gave us, and I apologize if I didn't send this part. She gave us some new definitions for the vacant commercial unit.
How to separate that.
And then applicability. Where did I go to school? Provision.
Not Milton Union.
I didn't go to Milton.
Needs to be said.
That's why I can't read that word. Registration of vacant commercial units in mixed-use buildings. Did I see that?
Is it this one? Mixed use building level versus unit level?
Yeah, she said these are the areas where the current draft either doesn't fully align with our recommendations or where I think strengthening the language will prevent enforcement challenges down the road. And the first one was mixed use building level versus unit level classification.
Okay. Okay. So mixed use recognition, section 92, 90, do you want me to just go through these?
No, I think, no, so this one specifically, at least when I read them, and everybody else chime in if you feel differently, this was the only one that I do think needs addressed. I think
Yeah.
that is a necessary distinction for what we're trying to accomplish.
The
'Cause there-
mixed use recognition?
Correct. There's several
I agree.
buildings that have, residential occupied units above. What we're trying to accomplish, obviously, in downtown is that curb appeal, get businesses in where businesses can be.
And we had talked about that because we brought that up a long time ago, Sarah, that we want to make sure that didn't happen, that when
Yeah.
a unit is occupied in the up but not the ground floor, that was covered. So I think it's just getting the language in there.
Yeah, she says mixed use recognition, section 98.21E10 acknowledges that a commercial building with attached residential use can trigger registration when either the commercial or residential portion meets the vacancy criteria. And she says this is a good step forward from the earlier drafts.
So,
Then the fee escalation.
So I asked Sarah that when I saw this email, at least we had all discussed that, like a year by year escalation.
I know, maybe
And then
they
we had
didn't
it
see that.
separately tiered by if it had a code violation or not. But yeah, we did have a increasing, duration.
The last one I got from you guys that had a tiered fee schedule was just based on code violations. I didn't get one that said, unless I missed that email, I didn't get one that was separate, said, okay, this is what it's going to be no matter what. I just had one based on code violations.
I will find it, because I believe I sent it to Jeff, and then it was forwarded through everybody. But I will find it and make sure you get it.
Okay.
Because there was. We'd only did it where, you had a starting point, and then it went on, I think, only to 3 years. So it
Yeah.
escalated the second year, escalated the third year, and
Right.
that was what it would stay.
Okay.
But I will make sure that I get that to you.
So in her items that still need attention, it says this is separate, sorry. It says the mixed use building level versus unit level classification. She recommends to add a separate vacant commercial unit definition that allows the village to register, assess fees against, and enforce maintenance requirements on individual ground floor commercial spaces. And there's a draft I can add in, because I think it's just the language needs to be super precise because we've got buildings that have residential units that are occupied, and in the commercial spaces vacant, whether it's owner occupied or tenant occupied. And I don't know if we need to clarify that, but we can find out. Occupied is occupied, right? So they've got a draft ordinance language that I can put in there if that's
If you can just send that to me.
okay. And then the fee escalation by duration of vacancy, which originally we had put like $1,000, then it went to $2,000, then up to like $64,000. And
That's unrealistic. You're just.
correct. And so that was kind of the thing, like send the signal without being punitive. Like $64,000 on a building that, isn't worth twice that. Like that's just not realistic. Property posting requirements. We talked about not putting that in there, and then she brought it back up. She said she didn't see a provision requiring vacant property owners to post a visible notice on the building when it's registered. This serves two purposes. One is transparency. The neighbors and community members can see the property is being tracked. An opportunity. The posting can include contact information for parties interested in purchasing or leasing. It's a low-cost provision that enforces accountability.
I know, I read that. I'm still okay not doing it. I know they recommend doing it. I don't care whatever everyone thinks, but I know we all talked about that, seeming like it was a little odd to just put all your info in your window of your building, like, I'm being tracked.
Yeah, if we're keeping track of it, I don't see
Yeah.
any reason to. If anything, I would think someone would say, okay, well, this is a building I can squat in for however long because it is vacant.
So, yeah, whatever council thinks. So I was, even though they recommend that, I don't know, I was still okay not doing it.
I actually like that provision. I think it's another method of motivation too, if they have to post on there. So I personally am a fan of it.
And I can see maybe not making them put their contact information, just
Yeah.
that like this building has been registered with the vacant building registration. Because they might not want, I don't know, do kids still prank call? Like, they might just, I mean, you just might not want your phone number out there.
Yeah, I would agree. And if somebody does see that and has an interest in purchasing the building, it's pretty easy to look up property records and determine who to get in contact with. So, yeah, I would agree. I don't think they need their phone number and personal information, but I think a notice would be good.
And it could save time if we've got somebody that wants to go around and report vacant buildings. You know, if that happens from getting phone calls that this building been registered, then you know.
Kind of like a building permit sign in the window or whatever.
Yeah.
So I know that Councilmember Dorman previously had done a little study downtown looking at what buildings were vacant, what residences were vacant. I think it would be good to utilize that and kind of cross-reference that of what still is vacant downtown. Is that something that Retail Strategies is on contract to like help track as well, or this is all strictly within the municipality's purview and structure? I would think if they're helping us to revitalize downtown, they would be a good entity to track that or validate and verify those vacant buildings in the downtown area. The rest, of course, are with us. So I just don't know what their involvement is with this. That would be my question.
I don't think they'll help with like the actual registration, like.
No, not that part, but at least identifying what are the vacant buildings down there. I don't know. I'm just trying to think how to do this the easy way and not the hard way, because I mean it's pretty evident down there what buildings are vacant or open, but I just didn't know what their involvement would be, because ultimately they're the group that we're contracting with to hopefully bring in some businesses to fill those vacant buildings and areas downtown. So they would, in my opinion, would be, heavily involved in that process. But
So there are going to be committees that are going to be formed. So there's right now with the downtown, with Retail Strategies, the downtown, there's people on like the downtown committee, and there'll be different committees. So, I mean, we could probably have like a couple people on like a vacant building registration committee to kind of identify what's obviously vacant. And then if, you know something that's vacant, or just to kind of identify this, we could probably do that.
okay.
I don't know that Retail Strategies would fly in and then do like a walk around, because they're not familiar with our downtown, like those of us who work and live downtown are.
Okay.
Since, the reason for starting the vacant building registry in January of, say, 27, I think was to get the word out, right? So send it in the water bills or, something, and give people 9 months to know, and they're responsible for coming in here and registering their building. Not that, per se, a task force is out tracking each vacant building and making them register, but putting that notice out once or twice in the next 9 months.
Give me $75,000, I'll tell you every vacant building in a tri-state area.
There you go. And maybe that, then if we're gonna do the posting in the window or whatever, that needs to be part of the application or something, that when they fill that out, then they have to take that and put it in the window. I don't know.
Like when you get a building permit, you get like I've seen like the cardboard.
Yeah.
And you just have to tape it in the window. I don't necessarily agree with the idea of putting their phone number on there, just because, who knows? I mean, we get enough junk calls.
I would suggest a more appropriate comparison is when it's condemned. The building's condemned, they have to display prominently that that building has been condemned. And if
Yeah.
they remove it, the county comes back and puts it up. So it's really, that I think is the best comparison.
Yeah.
Do we care that it would be on a house, or do we more want this to be on a possible commercial property? Not as an advertisement, so to speak, but like, what are we trying to achieve with that specific part of this?
I think the commercial.
Right, because if we're not, I don't know. It seems like weird to just, I'm trying to think of reasons why someone would have a vacant home or other type of property.
Same reason they have a vacant commercial building.
They inherit it and
Don't want to do
don't
anything with
want to
it.
clean it out or sell it, or it's caught up in family, 4 people own it. And
I think more the commercial side. I think residential needs to be included so we're aware where there's vacant properties. I mean, from the fire perspective, they're going to, if there's one of these buildings or residences on fire, they're going to act as if there's people in there anyway. That's how they are required for safety. I mean, you never
Right.
know. But I think that if you,
But isn't that what registering it up with us is for, versus posting it on their home?
I don't think they need to post it on the home, but I think like the commercial side.
Yeah,
That's all I was
Even if
asking.
you're like somebody that wants to buy investment properties and you're walking around and you see all these, those investors know how to find people. Like, they don't need a phone number posted. They will find their granddaughter's cell phone if need be to find that person. Like, they know what they're doing.
Levi, to your point, I would agree with you that just requiring a posting on a commercial building makes sense. Like, that vacant homes would need to be registered, but as far as having a requirement for posting, is that what you're,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see that as being a targeted need versus.
for
like
a residential property?
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but yeah, I do think for a commercial property,
I would agree.
Are we thinking just for not single residential property?
Yes, not like a
Okay.
single family home.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like an apartment complex,
yeah, I agree with that.
Duplex.
anything
townhome.
other than a single family home, right?
I mean, I don't know, do we, because typically anything under 4 units is classified as residential. So do we want to say a multi-unit property? Or do we want to draw the line at residential versus commercial? Because typically it doesn't transform into a commercial property until you're 5 units and up.
I think, I mean, but we can specify it by unit though, right? Regardless.
We
of-
have them separated in the registration right now anyway,
That, okay.
so we can keep it that
I
way.
mean, we're not even
and put it in
charging
a
a
section.
fee for a code compliant residential.
Yeah.
We just have you register. So
Yeah.
yeah, why make them post?
That
it?
makes sense.
And then the insurance requirement, they said vacant buildings carry elevated fire and liability risk. Our recommendation was to require owners to maintain and document adequate property insurance as a condition of registration. If the village is going to be monitoring these properties and potentially authorizing emergency repairs, having proof of insurance on file protects everyone, something to consider. And I can see if we're doing an emergency repair and something happens, that they, have insurance to protect our staff.
Yeah, I would agree.
Agreed.
Okay. So Lene, do you have everything from the village council members to put together this ordinance for first reading on the March council
We
meeting?
still got like a couple more things. I'm almost done.
What are-
I believe so. I know, he said he was gonna get me the fee schedule, so
I
that's
just
fine.
forwarded that to you.
Okay, that's fine. The insurance requirement part, I mean, obviously, emergency repairs and that are gonna be made no matter what. If the village has to make them, they'll make them for public safety. My concern more is trying to enforce it through the penalty section in court to file against somebody who hasn't filed on the vacancy bill, on the registration list. And their thing is, well, I tried, but I don't have insurance. I'm not sure how a judge is gonna rule on that in that situation. Because technically they are trying to get on the registration list, but we're forcing them to have insurance. I don't know if that's something we can actually do, honestly, so we just have to take that in mind, that if that's one of the reasons that's keeping them off the list, I'm not sure how enforceable that's gonna be.
I thought last time we discussed it, we had decided no insurance requirements.
You did.
We did.
Yeah.
I'm just bringing back their
Yeah,
notes.
yeah, they said.
Section 9824G allows a hold on utility transfer for delinquent fees, which is a step in the right direction, but a recorded lien against the property would be a stronger tool. It ensures the village can recover unpaid fees even though a property sale or foreclosure and makes, even through a property sale or foreclosure and makes fees truly unavoidable. It could also potentially allowing the village to acquire the property over time if liens go unpaid. Lene may have a view on whether a lien provision is appropriate under Ohio law.
It's already in there. In our penalty section, we added as far as, same as utilities, if they don't pay it, it's a tax lien on the property, so it's already in there.
Okay.
Yeah. I just don't know if they didn't see it because it's at the end in the penalty section, but it's built in there.
And she said the draft doesn't include a provision allowing the village to authorize emergency repairs when a vacant property presents an imminent hazard to public health or safety with costs assessed back to the property owner. This is a standard provision in many VPROs and gives the village a tool for urgent situations. A collapsing awning, a broken window during winter, a water line break, without waiting for the owner to respond. Jeremy Murdoch with Retail Strategies and I have seen buildings actually fall into the sidewalk in some downtowns, and the municipality has to wait for a reply from the property owner if this provision doesn't exist. We did put that in there though, right?
If that scenario were to happen in the municipality, we already have it built into our code to do that. We already have a provision that if we have to go and fix it, then
Okay.
the property owner pays for it, so, yeah, it's
That
already
makes
in our
sense. So they
code.
wouldn't have seen
Tax
that.
assessment.
For sale exemption, pricing safeguard. This is the last one, I promise. Section 98.25C exempts properties listed at fair market value or within 30% of the auditor's assessed value. The or construction here could allow a property to be listed at up to 130% of the auditor's value and still qualify for an exemption. In some cases, that could be well above what the market would actually bear. I suggest tightening this, either removing the 30% buffer or changing the or to and so that both conditions must be met. The goal is to prevent owners from listing at an unrealistic price simply to avoid registration. The planning board review at 12 months is a good backstop, but the initial threshold matters too.
Okay.
So basically saying like, if you've got a building and the auditor's assessed value is more than fair market value, which is rare that happens, but it could, that they can list it for 130% of that. So if the auditor's value is, you know, $100,000, but the fair market value is really only $50,000,
Right.
then they're gonna list it at 130,000, even though they're not gonna get it. So then they come and they're like, why then compliance with this, nobody's buying it.
Yeah, that's simple. So just switch or to and it still
Yeah, my
meets
question,
our intention.
my question is too, though, if we tighten this up, can we create a provision in that where if they're realistically selling it, they're gonna have documentation to support the list price? Can we add some sort of provision in that? Because the auditor's website isn't always necessarily the best indicator of value.
There is something in there about selling it and making an actual attempt to sell it versus listing it like way above value or what it's actually going to sell for.
Okay.
Like, we know some of these buildings that are downtown that have been vacant for years are not gonna
Yeah.
sell for $200,000 and $300,000.
Right.
All right.
Is that in there?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just wondering how changing it to and really changes anything, but I don't know if you can have it at fair market value and with the 30% of the
That's,
auditor's
I don't
assessed
understand that
value,
either.
so
So is there language that we can use to make it like it's fair market value? Because I know we talked about the 30% above the auditor's assessed value. Because wasn't the reasoning like, and I'm sorry, but wasn't the reasoning like, because there's not many comps or something like that? Like, if there's a building that's been vacant for years, there's not really any comps in West Milton.
Right.
So if it was fair market value and within, wouldn't that cover us if it was within the 30% window but was an unrealistic price and denotes that it's not at fair market?
Well, do you want to ask that, it be listed at fair market value and that they provide documentation as far as
That
how
would
that
be-
was reached?
That would be great because they would need to, if they're realistically listing it, they're gonna have some research to support where they're listing it at.
Right.
So I think that would actually be a better indicator.
And then take out the 30%?
I like that idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah, that's fine.
We're gonna get this one right. Eventually.
All righty.
Okay, I have a quick question for the city manager. I haven't heard anything more with an update from the school with the land purchase that we've talked about. Have you heard anything back from them at all?
I talked to the superintendent. There was some confusion over exactly what directions they needed to give their surveyor. So I actually confirmed with the law director earlier this week. What he was asking, well, do you want this or this, was actually 2 steps in one process. And once that was clarified, he said, well, I'll go back to the surveyor so we can get that finalized and back to you.
Okay.
Does that make sense, I hope?
Yep.
It was how the property had to be described and cut, and then replatted and a new legal description.
Right, because the way that we want things to move forward is that it would be replatted.
Correct.
Correct?
Correct. I believe so, yeah. And so they thought it was either this or this, and I think there was some confusion over the terminology. Talked to Dr. Ritchie, and he's got that taken care of.
Okay. The other one is, I know we had some email correspondence back and forth, and that Jason from the developer's office agreed to meet at some point with Ms. Hagemeyer at the auditor's office.
Yes.
To talk through this NCA special assessment.
I think they're now talking about meeting here. They've
Okay.
got a date in March, and I'm sorry, I did not bring my book in all the time. I want to say March 10th, but I'll get you the date. He was still trying to finalize the availability of all the right people, either
Okay.
virtually or in person. So they're working on getting a date.
Okay, sounds good.
Ms. Hubbard, I
Definitely.
think, was available, and I think they're still deciding whether we're going to meet at the county or we're going to meet here.
Okay, that'd be great, because, I'm just still concerned
Sure.
about how some of this was laid out, and if folks are ultimately that live out there are entitled to some type of refund, and they were told that, I think that should ultimately happen.
Chief has-
Ms. Hagemeyer sent us the email traffic
Oh,
that,
thank you, Chief.
this started
Thank you
from
very
back
much.
in
I appreciate it.
2021, and they were specifically given an
Bless your
effective
heart.
tax rate of 49.165448 mils. Well, when it all came out, the effective tax rate went down to 42.647347 mils. So it was a difference of over 6.5 mils that the tax rate decreased. So by that, and she works in the auditor's office, the NCA special assessment should have been $504 less than what they were charged. And they were told that they were going to see some type of refund in reference to that, but that never happened. Well,
That's
she,
the only part I'm looking for is when they were told about a refund.
yeah, so that was one of the things that was mentioned. So if this has been ongoing for 4 years, she moved in 2021, and I think we need to have a closure on this and understand how this tax rate is estimated, and if the tax rate comes in and is lower than what the estimated amount was, and folks are overpaying for this millage and have been for several years, then I think that there should be some type of compensation back. But
My understanding, there is a correction made, but let's wait till March 10th. I was correct.
March
We're still
10th.
working on a time.
Okay.
Whether it's in the morning or the afternoon and location.
okay,
So, but I would pencil out March 10th. As soon as I have more details, I'll pass them along.
okay. And has Ms. Hagemeyer been contacted about that
I think
date?
we're waiting, Maybe she has already. I think it was Miss Hubbard and her were the
Oh,
first two.
Angela Hubbard
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Ms.
yeah.
Hagemeyer. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, great. I would definitely like to,
I'll let everybody know.
Okay.
Once we have the details.
okay.
Because I'm sure there's going to be some going to join virtually, so you may not have to actually be here in person and still participate.
Okay, okay. Sounds good. Thanks for doing that.
Absolutely.
Is that all of our old business?
I believe so. Is there any more old business?
I'd like to make a motion, we enter regular session.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Fogel?
Yes.
Mr. Todd?
Yes.
Ms. Gregory?
Yes.
Mr. Hurst?
Yes.
Ms. Metz?
Yes.
Ms. Richardson?
Yes.
Mayor Saunders?
Yes. Do we have any motions for executive session?
I'd like to make a motion to go in executive session per section 4.12, B5 of the charter to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, compensation of a public employee or official, or the investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual unless a public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual requests a public hearing.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Fogel?
Yes.
Mr. Todd?
Yes.
Ms. Gregory?
Yes.
Mr. Hurst?
Yes.
Ms. Metz?
Yes.
Ms. Richardson?
Yes.
Mayor Saunders?
Yes.
Okay. We do not intend to have any other business after the executive session, so just so everyone knows that. Nothing else is on the agenda.